Hey guys, we are back again for another fun-filled episode of the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. Hooray! Hooray! And I'm not even going to go tell you to press the subscribe button because you know what? You know what to do. Okay? We are back over here at Randyland with another fun story. And I'm standing over here on a staircase so we can get kind of an aerial view because there's so much stuff all around as more memories and treasures just fill boxes and surround us with all these goodies. And I glance over my shoulder, my giant parrot, and there he is. Hi, Polly. That's Polly over there. He stands on a tower, and he used to be from a miniature golf course right here in Wildwood, and he would tower over you. He's really pretty big. I mean, the ceiling here is like 14 feet, and he's almost over, to the ceiling on his pole. And, everyone should have a giant parrot. It's like the old Henny Youngman joke. Remember the Henny Youngman? Remember Henny? You'd go, Polly wants a cracker. Now! You got to have a giant Polly. He was around here. But Polly is doing a very important job because he is overlooking and he is watching and keeping an eye, sharp lookout on the men's room water game, which is right below Polly's perch. And this is the original men's room water game. This is the first one that I built. Now that's kind of a half a story there, because the first men's room water game I built was a 4-player station, and I built it in my garage when I was living in Middletown, New Jersey. And I built them in 2s, and they're on a carriage so the whole thing can move, and you bolt the 2s together to make 4 or 6 or 8 on the thing. But the first prototypes were just 2 players of 2, because that's all it could fit in a 2-car garage. I mean, they're pretty big. So I'm not sure which of the stations here are the original 2s that were first built. I could probably tell by closer looking at the mechanisms that are built, but they're all hand built. And then after I got the first 4 built, then I had to actually rent a warehouse, and it was over in Keensburg, New Jersey, not at the amusement park. It was further back down at the, I believe it was the old Collins Brothers. They had a bus depot there, and it was an old building. And I rented this big old garage, and I was over there building men's room water games. So I had to build an 8-unit game. So I built an 8, and the 8-unit game of this 12, this is a 12 here, 8-unit was sent to the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions big exhibition show, which is called the IAAPA. And that it was in Orlando at the Orange County Convention Center. So I had to disassemble it after I built it and load it up in a truck and take it down to Florida. And I was an exhibitor for the first time ever at a convention trade show. The IAAPA is the largest industry trade show for the amusement park industry, and amusement parks and carnivals and family centers or whatever. And all the manufacturers from all across the world come to show their products and their wares, and people from all over the world come to this convention once a year in order to see the new products and get ideas and make purchases for their amusement centers wherever they are. And you have mom and pop places who come to the IAAPA show, but you also have major amusement parks, including Universal Studios and Disney and parks in Dubai, from Japan, from, you name it, they're there. But the men's room water game was first displayed to anybody at the IAAPA show. And, I'll be very proud to say that it won first prize for best new game product of the entire show. I mean, this is an amazing honor and an amazing feat for somebody who's never been in the manufacturing business and really was just starting up into building water race games for sale to amusement parks across the country. And here was this new guy coming, releasing a corner spot in the back aisles of the the giant convention when other manufacturers have 2-3 whole aisles of all their games that they make. And here's little old Randy over there with his men's room water game in his mom's way, and I win first prize for best new game product. The men's room water game is a really great game. And it's hard to see because we have so much stuff on top of it here because I just need more space. But it's actually a full length that comes all the way over to here. And can you see down there, these are bathroom sinks that are complete glass block front, and they have faucets, and they have a hose that comes up out of the center of the sink. Well, the operator works in the middle there between the men who are standing in the back and the sink counters. So when the contestants come over, you're walking over to a sink as you would do in a commercial bathroom. But instead of looking at a mirror, you're looking across the bathroom at the guys who are all standing there, and they're standing in front of their urinals. Because the men's room water game is a water race game, and the contestants are trying to fill up their urinal. The operator's walking back and forth, and he has a kick pedal at each sink station. So the contestant will pay the operator their money to play the game. The operator kicks the kick pedal, which actually lights up one of the faucets on the sink faucet. I have an orange faucet where the hot would be and a green one where the cold would be. So when you kick the pedal, it lights up orange. So all the people who are paid are lit up orange, and nothing's happening at that time. When the operator's ready to run the game, he steps out of the line of fire because nobody wants to get hit in the men's room, and he presses his start button. The bell rings. All the faucets that had an orange light will also now get a green light for go, and the pumps. We have big pumps on this, not a small little pump to handle a little bit of water. These got major pumps, and those major pumps kick in with deep well tanks, and all of a sudden those hoses become live with powerful water, and the contestants are shooting water across their sink, across the bathroom floor, and into their urinal, and on the other side of their guy who's standing in front of the urinal, because this is the men's room. So the men who are in front of the urinal are actually on swivel carriages. You can see the carriages on the bottom are a little bit in a tilt situation. Well, when they're in operation, there's a crossbar that connects every one of the carriages, so the game is fair. And the carriages will all move from side to side, left and right and left and right. But I designed it with an anchor pin in the back of the carriage, and the front of the carriage is on caster wheels. And what happens is it creates not the men moving back and forth like this. The men swivel back and forth like this, keeping their center point at the urinal, because we're trying to make this realistic. Now, if you've ever been a guy standing at the urinal, you kind of know you got to keep the urinal in the center of your focus. So if you're going to move over this way because the guy on the right is, missing and he's going on your shoe, you're going to move over this way, but you're going to turn your center because you're still aiming for your urinal, which is mounted on the wall. The urinals don't move. So if the other guy's going to start being messy, you're going to move back the other way, and you're still keeping your center of attention on your urinal, because you got to do your business right. You don't want to be one of these other slobs who are just squirting the wall and every other good things that they do in the men's room. So you hear these stories. I know you girls wonder what goes on in the men's room. Well, here you get to see it, and you get to play it, because you get to see how the other half lives inside the men's room water game. Can you believe this now? So the people are shooting their water from their bathroom sink across the bathroom floor. The characters are moving back and forth in unison, and they all swivel into their urinals. So you got to shoot around them, or maybe between the legs if you got a better shot, like the cowboy over there. That's Big Tex. So you can shoot between his legs and try to get it underneath his crotch there into the urinal. And as the water goes in the urinal, it rises up in those sight tubes down on the floor there. It just kind of bubbles up and starts coming up higher, higher, higher. So whoever fills up the sight tube and gets to the top, the beacon light goes off, the bells ring, all the pumps shut down, and they become the winner of the water race at the men's room water game. What could be better? I mean, this is the perfect game, honestly. You walk by games on the boardwalk, and what are they? They're really all kind of the same thing. Most of these water race games that have been out there forever, they have the little red target, mounted on the wall. Usually it's in a little light box. It's got a little hole and it's a little red target. So you pick up the gun, you aim, and you shoot. And some of them have mounted pistols, and you shoot. The water goes, it hits the red target, and you just hold it there, because all it's doing is holding on a switch. And then the unit is going to run up, or it's going to run across, or whatever the actual game is. That's all it's going to do. And there's really no entertainment factor in the water race games. So why do people play them on the boardwalk and amusement parks? They play them because they are set up as merchandise tools. They're selling you not the fun, they're selling you the prize. Whatever's hot that year. They got the Scooby-Doo hanging there. They got the Winnie the Pooh hanging there. They got the seagull with the French fries sticking in its mouth. Whatever's hot that year, the item, that's what these operators, game operators, will put on their stands to make you want to play the game, to lure you into playing the game. Is the game fun? Well, there's a certain element of fun in all these games. That's why they are games. But most people are playing games for the wrong reason. They're playing the game because they want to win that Scooby-Doo. They want to win that, Mickey Mouse or whatever it is that they're showing there. They're there to win that prize. Well, on any race game, it continues till somebody wins. That's the objective. Okay, so somebody wins and somebody's going to get the Scooby-Doo. But you know what? All the other players who were playing, they lost. So how fun is that? And typically, today, they're charging $5 a person. I've seen in carnivals where they're charging $10 and $20 for bigger animals. But it's the same concept. They're paying a fee to play a game to win the prize. The game has little entertainment value. That's the difference between me and anybody else who's really in this business, whether they're a manufacturer or they're an operator. It's not a business to me. It never really has been. I'm still a little kid who enjoys playing games. So when I make a game or I run a game, I am creating an experience. I'm creating fun. What I sell is fun. That's what my store, as a retro arcade or fascination or whatever it is I'm running, or a men's room water game, what I'm selling is I sell fun. So the men's room water race game I designed because it's fun. And when I operated this game on the boardwalk, I can tell you there's a major difference, because when people would play the men's room water game and the bell would ring and they didn't win, they didn't throw the gun down and walk away pissed. They still have the gun in their hand. The game is over. They just went through this experience, and they'd be turning over to other people walking by, and they go, "Come on over here, you got to try this. This is great, this is great." And they'd come over. They were inviting other people because they played for the right reason. They played because it was fun. So win or lose, they still had fun. Everybody wins when you play for the right reasons, and that's very important. Any game you go to on the boardwalk, when they have a big giant prize, that means they're not there to give it to you. They're there to lure you in with the prize, and they're gonna stick their hand in your pocket and you're gonna get that money because you're there to try to get that big prize and you're trying to beat them. You're trying to get it for far less than you know it's worth. Well, you know what? You're playing for the wrong reason. So that's how that shady operator is going to get you. And he's going to give you all kind of comments and come-ons and baloney. And he's going to give you a special free shot if you play again and all that stuff. And the darts and the bushel baskets and the basketballs and all these games that are there to get you to play. They have agents. They have operators. Many of them work on a percentage for their boss. So the more money they can get out of your pocket, the bigger cut they're going to get. So it's the men's room water game, and we had a special prize at the men's room. We really did. We had all the same things that the other water games had, because you have to do that in order for the initial play, for people to walk by. If they're after that Winnie the Pooh, you got to have it too. Well, when the game would end, and you'd announce the winner, this guy over here, you are the king of the men's room. You just beat everybody out. Yeah, you can have your choice of any prize, because it was a choice game. You get any prize on the ceiling, on the walls, or you can have one of our world famous toilet bowl trophies. And I'd reach over to the side and I'd pull one out. I don't have one right here. It would have been great if I did. And it would be about this high. It was a little plastic boy, and he was called the Wee Boy. And I'd go, here he is, the world famous toilet bowl trophy. We pull him out, the Wee Boy, and you pull his shorts down, and his pants would come down, and he'd pee water out at you. Okay, so it's the perfect prize. And people would go, Wee Boy, I want the Wee Boy. And they would take the Wee Boy. Almost 100% of the time, they love the Wee Boy. And for the benefit of us in business, the Wee Boy actually cost us less money than did the Winnie the Pooh, the Scooby-Doo, the Mickey Mouse. So it was a better profit item for us, but it was the perfect price. So you couldn't get them from any other place. We had special labels for them, the men's room water game trophy, So you were like winning a trophy, and everybody wanted the Wee Boys. They're going up and down the boardwalk, weeing on each other, wee. I mean, they're great. They're great. I still have some somewhere. I don't know. We had bought cases and cases of Wee Boys, but it's such a great game. But all the characters on the water race game, they all had little names. And I don't have their name plaques on the bottom, but they all have name plaques. Like, the cowboy, he's Big Tex, okay? And the guy next to him, he's the fish head. Now, you see the fish in his hat? He's a fisherman. So he's the fish head. And over here, we have Big Dudley, and this guy next to Big Dudley, he's El Cheapo. And the guy next to him, he's the corn cob. And the guy next to him is Norman. Now, if you ever played at Lucky's Fascination in Seaside, you would know who Norman is. Norman worked at Fascination when I bought it, and he came along with the place. Now, next to Norman, you have Miss P. Now, people would say, wait a minute, there's a woman in the men's room. What's going on? And I would explain to them, that's no woman. But here we are, 20-something years ago, almost 30 years ago, and the men's room water game has Miss P, and she's not really a woman. That's a guy over there in his heels and all that stuff. But where would he go? They didn't have transgender bathrooms back in the 1990s and all this thing. So here we have unisex at the men's room water game. But it's a fun game, really, really fun game. And the water's all recycled. The stations, I built them on a slant, and they're all hand-built. I built every one of these things. I bought the plywood at Home Depot. I bought the sinks. I mean, I used American Standard urinals. Everything is stuff that you would do to actually build your own bathroom. The glass block walls, interestingly enough, are not glass. Why? Well, because of the sheer weight of it. The game has to be somewhat transportable. They're made of some kind of acrylic. They are somewhat breakable. They're not like polycarbonate, so that you can break them, but they're very durable. And they cost more than glass block does because they're used in applications that are specialized, that are not requiring glass with the weight. And they're held together in corners with plastic nylon connectors, which often don't like to fit right because when they made these things, they're not exactly perfect in the corners. The men's room game sign on the top, if you see the word room, you see the one eye pupil is a little bit tilted. He shouldn't be. He should be straight, but those eye pupils actually slide back and forth. Like, there's eyes looking this side, that side. So, they're looking down at those people who are doing their business at the urinals. So we're going to leave it there and end this episode for another great time here at the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. Now I'll remind you again, press the subscribe button because we need your subscriptions. We need your viewerships so we can continue to bring you all this great stuff. How's that for fun? Is that a great episode or what? I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.